Welcome back to Coffee with the Council. We're joined by Lovejoy District Councilmember Bryan Bollman and Joy Kuebler, who is a landscape architect and also a board member of the Buffalo Niagara River Land Trust. Thank you for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
I understand you've been doing a lot of exciting work at Houghton Park. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, I would love to tell you about all of the things that we have going on at Houghton Park. So the City of Buffalo has received American Rescue Plan funds to do 8 park master plans, and Houghton Park is one of those master plans. So my company, Joy Kuebler, landscape architect, is the prime consultant leading that master plan park effort. But I also wear another hat, as you mentioned. I'm a board member of the Buffalo Niagara River Land Trust. And in the past year, the Land Trust has become the perpetual steward of the conservation area, which means that forever that area will be conserved as a natural area, and that the Land Trust actually supports and will keep in perpetuity that is a conservation area for the community.
That's great. And, I just want to say Joy is doing a great job. She has the entire Kaisertown community involved in this park project. They're excited about the conservation easement area, but also the recreation area. I'm excited as a council member for the district. I grew up playing in Houghton Park, so love to see the dollars being invested. It's been a long time since dollars have been put in that park. Some of it will go to infrastructure things. You could tell us a little bit about that, Joy, but also the walking area, the potential to connect to the Buffalo River. Very exciting things, so we're just so happy Joy is involved. And you should have seen this past weekend, so many people just want to see their park be better, and I'm so happy to have you.
Yes.
Yeah, what was this past weekend? Tell us a little bit about this event that happened.
Yeah, so we called it Nature Inspiration Day. So as we were earlier in the year, we also had an opportunity to work with the community very closely on creating a vision plan for the conservation area in particular through the Land Trust. And one of the things that we heard a lot from the community was how the previous concrete and rubble debris that had been dumped throughout the conservation area was really limiting access for safe walking trails, right? So people want to be able to walk through that natural area, and those concrete outcroppings, if you will, almost as if they were rock, but they're not, were really causing a lot of challenges for mobility and access in a really safe way. So they wanted that really high on their priority list. So the Land Trust, we found a grant through the National Recreation and Parks Association and Bobcat Equipment. Right, so people from the community were like, "Let me back there. I've got a Bobcat." We can't do that. We can't let you just back there with the Bobcat, but we can let Bobcat back there, right? Mm-hmm. So we were awarded a $50,000 grant, which will go a long way to helping those areas right around the trails to be much more safe and accessible. And part of that grant was to do a community event. So because we wanted to really showcase that this funding was to support the conservation area, we created a Nature Inspiration Day. So we partnered with our local library branch and New York State Parks. So State Parks brought things like skulls and animal pelts and some information on tracks and how to identify various creatures in our natural area. The library brought down all sorts of incredible books for kids and adults, and actually allowed people to check out those books right from the park, which was amazing. And then we had Western New York Book Arts. And they came down to make customized cards that said Houghton Park, Nature Inspiration, and then people could pick and choose the different templates that they wanted and make their own card to take home. Then we had things like making kaleidoscopes with native flowers out of toilet paper tubes. I mean, we pulled out all the crafts. And we had about 45 people, groups and families, come throughout the morning, and they also got to go on some walking tours through the conservation area. We had an ecologist join us so that we could really have some conversations about what does invasive species management look like, right? The community thinks we can just go in there and rip it all out and it'll be gone. And that's really not how invasive plants work. So we had a great conversation about that. And then also, how do we introduce native plants back into that space? So it was a fantastic opportunity to both experience nature close up and for the community to kind of come out and meet one another and be in the space and be in that park in a new kind of way.
and leave it to Joy to make something like Japanese knotweed, creative experience, and she made it a little game with it or whatever.
Yeah, we were
She gets very
painting. We
creative.
were painting with Japanese knotweed, right? This time of the year, there's not much more that you can do with it. So,
Councilmember Bollman, I know that community development and community engagement is a top priority for your office. So, how special is it to have someone like Joy on this project?
Extremely special, and we're talking about Houghton Park, but look at the master planning throughout all of our parks, and you talked about community engagement. I have been visible in the communities, right? I'm out at block clubs through our staff. We're at about 20 to 30 block clubs or events every week. We're engaging with these residents, and what they're telling us is they want, their community centers, their senior centers in better shape. They want to see their parks. So having these master plans moving forward, it builds the blueprint for us to be able to move forward and, secure more funds and deliver for the residents. So it's so exciting. And then you bring in Joy, who's able to get the community involved even greater. State parks, that it's great having the state park group in Houghton Park over the past weekend. Private businesses like Bobcat, it's just bringing it all together. It really feels like we're going to be able to do something great here. There's already dollars secured. We're working to secure more dollars, so really excited about having great partners like Joy.
Yeah. The master plan is actually very interesting because it requested that we create sort of a 20-year vision of where do we want to be in 20 years. So we've got some goals in mind. But it also identified that we have about $1.4 million to spend on this first phase. And so we're looking at sort of this combination of infrastructure and what I kind of call twinkle lights, right? And if we only spend those dollars on the underground improvements, right, there isn't anything tangible for the community to say, like, that's mine, and I rallied for that improvement. Or our kids can now safely play flag football in the park. And our new Americans who have an interest in something like cricket can also come to the park. So finding the balance, right, so that 1.4 million will be working with both the residents and the city to identify where those infrastructure dollars are best spent, and then where are the twinkle, right, what adds the life and the spark and the championship, so that we're really supporting that we can have both of those.
That's a great point too, because it's not the fun stuff but the infrastructure, but it can lead to the fun stuff too. So like in Houghton Park, consistent complaint over the years was the playground is always full of water in fall. It rains and it's flooded. The infrastructure allowing that water to drain will help. We have a veterans monument area, and that gets really wet, and they wanted to put statues there over the years, but we really couldn't. So fixing that infrastructure will actually allow us the capability to do those things. So, not the funnest thing to talk about drain lines, but it will lead to good things too.
Right.
I was going to ask, this is still very early on in the process, but what has the community said that they initially want to see? What working with you and the council member, what's everyone been saying about it?
Walking. They want to walk. They want to walk everywhere, and not just walk around the little perimeter that is around the picnic grove, right? Which is in terrible disrepair. So they want to walk there safely, but they want to be able to walk all the way up to Clinton Street from the parking lot, right, on a variety of trails, and then into the conservation area in a really safe way. They love that nature area, but they want to feel comfortable in there.
And people walk it every day too. We have really avid walkers and some joggers around that track. So I really want to fix that infrastructure. I heard ice rink. Do we know that's tangible? I don't know. It might take a lot of maintenance. It's fun to dream for that park that used to have a ice rink.
Right.
Back in the day, I actually talked to Danny. He's a Kaisertown resident. He used to work for the Parks Department, and he maintained it. He said it is a lot of work. So we don't know if we'll get there, but there's a shelter house, bringing the pool back to life potentially. We have our splash pad, maybe some improvements there. Definitely the walking path years ago. Ever since I started, they wanted a walking path from Clinton to connect all the way through the track. I love that idea. More lighting, more safety, security. I'm very interested in that. Even I have some district funds that I allocated to Buffalo Police camera room, and we're trying to get lighting and cameras. So overall experience at Houghton Park and all of our parks should be great. They're things that make our neighborhoods great. So really interested in seeing that happen.
Yeah, it is so exciting to see residents excited, about this. As you mentioned, you grew up there, so it's exciting to see you and future generations enjoy it.
Yeah.
What is the timeline, Joy?
So the timeline for the American Rescue Funds ensures that we must have something in construction by the end of 2024. and that we must be complete with that construction by, I think, middle of 2025. So it's an aggressive schedule for sure. But we've been, engagement has looked like being at the Bailey Clinton Market, being in the park during Slow Roll, and having a community come to us at the Autumnwood Senior Center. But it also looks like going door to door and sit and have a drink at the bar, which I did, and go to the pierogi restaurant and talk to the woman who owns a little Polish grocery store. So it has it's a diverse experience of engagement, and we really bring that, and we think it's really important to our projects that we talk to a wide variety of stakeholders where they already are. So we've had great conversations with kids and young people about the value of double rims on the basketball court so that they're stronger and they're more accurate for them to play, and families to kind of run around in a secure space and really to run on the lawns in a way that's really safe, right? We've got a lot of rutting and soil compression over time.
I think it's safe to say that this project is in great hands.
Yes,
With Joy.
For sure.
Joy, we want to thank you for joining us on Coffee with the Council. Thank you for telling us about it. We'll be sure to have you back on.
Awesome.
Following up on
We'll give you
the
an
whole park
update
project.
and kind of see where we are.
Back on. Well, we want to thank Joy again for coming on today's show, and we'll be back with Community.